A top Japanese developer just revealed why major studios won't touch Xbox, and it's not about the games. A top Japanese developer recently went public with a blunt statement: they don't develop for Xbox because the console isn't even stocked in major Japanese retail stores. This isn't speculation, it's a direct explanation from someone on the front lines of game creation. Think about that for a second. If a developer can't walk into a store and see their game sitting on shelves next to competitors, why would they invest time and resources building for that platform? It's not about game quality or Xbox's features. It's about distribution. Without physical presence in stores, Xbox becomes invisible to both players and creators. That's the crisis Microsoft is facing in Japan. Walk into Big Camera or Yodobashi, two of Japan's largest electronics retailers, and you'll find PlayStation and Nintendo dominating the console floor. Xbox? Barely a blip. This isn't random. It's a vicious cycle that kills console growth before it starts. When a console isn't physically available in major retail chains, potential buyers simply can't purchase it. They walk past the shelves, see no Xbox, and buy what's there instead. That shrinks the installed player base. With fewer players in the market, developers have zero incentive to invest development resources into an Xbox version of their game. Why spend money porting to a platform nobody in your region can actually own? The retailer sees weak demand, so they stock even less. The console becomes invisible. Fewer copies sell. Fewer games get made. The cycle tightens. PlayStation and Nintendo broke this cycle years ago by securing retail shelf space as a foundational priority. They built distribution networks that made their consoles impossible to ignore when you walked into a store. Xbox never achieved that in Japan. Without physical presence, you can't build momentum. Without momentum, retailers won't stock you. Without stocking, you can't reach consumers. That's the trap Microsoft finds itself in, and it's nearly impossible to escape once you're already behind. Here's where the real problem lies for Microsoft. PlayStation and Nintendo don't just have retail shelf space in Japan, they own it. Walk into any major Japanese electronics chain and you'll see entire walls dedicated to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch games. Xbox? You're lucky to find a single shelf tucked in the corner. This isn't random. PlayStation 5 has sold over 10 million units in Japan alone, while Xbox Series X and S combined haven't reached even a fraction of that installed base. Developers follow the money, and the money in Japan is with PlayStation. When a studio like Square Enix or Capcom is deciding where to allocate resources, they're looking at player bases. Why spend development time and budget on a platform where your potential customer base is measured in hundreds of thousands when PlayStation offers millions of established players ready to buy your game on day one? Nintendo's position is even stronger in the Japanese market. The Switch dominates casual and hardcore audiences alike. The installed base advantage creates a self-reinforcing cycle. More players on PlayStation means more sales potential, which attracts more developers, which creates more exclusive content, which drives more console sales. Xbox is completely locked out of this cycle in Japan. Without that retail presence and installed base, Japanese studios simply can't justify the commercial investment. Here's what this really means for Xbox moving forward. Microsoft isn't just missing out on current sales in Japan, they're locking themselves out of an entire ecosystem of world-class developers. When a studio like Capcom or Bandai Namco decides where to invest their resources, they look at install base first. Xbox has virtually none. In Japan. That means no exclusive deals, no day-one ports, no Japanese IP exclusivity. While PlayStation and Nintendo are nurturing relationships with Tokyo's biggest studios, Xbox is sitting on the sidelines. This isn't a short-term problem either. Every year Xbox stays invisible on Japanese retail shelves, another generation of console gamers grows up without even knowing the platform exists. By the time Microsoft figures out distribution, they've already lost years of developer goodwill and player loyalty. The cold truth is this: without fixing retail presence, Xbox will remain a Western-only console. And that's a massive handicap in an industry where global reach determines long-term success. Microsoft needs to act fast, or this becomes permanent. So here's the bottom line: Xbox's retail invisibility in Japan isn't just a regional inconvenience, it's a strategic catastrophe that ripples across the entire industry. When major developers won't build for a platform because players can't even find it on shelves, you're looking at a vicious cycle that could take years to break. Microsoft's got serious work ahead if they want to compete globally. Stay tuned for more breaking coverage on how the console wars are reshaping development priorities worldwide.